Morning.
Morning.
All right, good afternoon. We'll get to that.
10 after 12.
We've had church. You ever been misunderstood?
All the time.
You have somebody that gets you, just read it wrong? Never happened, huh? Never happened for you. Okay, well, good for you. They're sharing a memory, apparently. That's pretty good. What? Boot camp. As I mentioned earlier, when we were talking about the soundboard, I was with a traveling youth ministry team for a few years. And I have enough stories from that time that it seems like it should have been a lot more years. But that's what happens when you do ministry. You get stories. It was a traveling youth ministry revival team. And the first team we put together, we went on the road with, there was 5 of us. It was myself, a girl named Bernita, who was about a year older than me, so she was probably 25, 26. And she was from Mobile, Alabama, had grown up kind of in the hood, had very low tolerance for stupidity.
So you couldn't get along very well.
So then, it's sometimes better to just ignore things and keep rolling. You learn that? Yeah. They're like disobedient children. They're like unruly children in here. And then another person was named Corey. He was really intense. Corey was very quiet but very intense kind of guy. A lot of fun, but very, very intense. And rarely saw him smile. Very phlegmatic. Kind of a phlegmatic, melancholy kind of guy. And then there was Laura, who we called Disneyland because she was either awake and a lot of fun or she was asleep. One of those on or off type personalities. So that was the crew and me. We set out in a Ford truck F350, crew cab dually with a 36-foot trailer with puppets and sound system and all kinds of stuff. And we went out to do ministry. Well, we trained at this camp in Maryland for a week and a half, 2 weeks, somewhere in there. And then we went to our first event, which was in West Virginia. It was a camp meeting. Camp meetings are like where a bunch of religious people get together to hang out for a week and praise God, learn more about God, all that. Seminars, sessions, worship services, all this kind of thing. We drove up, it was on the campground of a summer camp, and we drove in at night, I think on a Thursday night. And it was dark. And if you've been to summer camps are not always, they don't always feature the greatest of engineering, shall we say. There's often shoddy construction, if you will. And we drove up and we had to get across this bridge. Now understand, none of us have driven big vehicles really before much, and now we've got this large pickup with a really long trailer. And our first trip to get to Maryland, we got in gashes on the side of the trailer. That's how inexperienced we were. So we drove up and we realized we had to cross a bridge to get into camp, but the bridge was about a foot wider than the trailer was on either side, if that. So, we got to get across it. We stopped and looked at it, and there was no guardrails on the side. It was just a cement slab, basically, across a small creek river thing, flowing water. And then we drive up to this, we stop, we get out, we look at it. Of course, it's the first trip, so we're running video camera constantly. I've got footage of this part of it, I know. We're reciting the 23rd Psalm, we're changing the words around, in my truck. So we gingerly drive across this bridge, drive into the camp, go to bed in cabins, which are fully featured cabins. In other words, if you didn't bring a friend with you to stay in the cabin, there were some provided in the cabin already. Some much smaller than you are, kind of crawly, right there with you. Bernita at this point was starting to freak out. Camping really isn't a big occupation, apparently, where she was from. And so we wake up in the middle of the night, and a storm comes through. And not just any storm, but a big storm. A really, really, really big storm. So bad that it washes the bridge out, breaks the bridge. There's one way into the camp. It's the bridge. camp meeting starts tonight, and it's kind of like, this ultimate day of decision has happened. It's an apocalyptic kind of thing, like those who are in the Holy Land can stay in the Holy Land, and those who are out are out. There's no going across. You are stuck in or out. None shall get in or out. So this starts to cause a dilemma, because all these people are coming to go to camp meeting, bringing RVs, bringing tents, going to sleep in the fully featured cabins, and they can't get in. And those of us who are holy can't get out. And they're speculating that it'll take a week or two until they can fix this thing. So, if you've been around church people at all, you know what we do at this point.
Right.
We call a meeting. I heard someone say pray, and that's a great idea, but really church people call meetings. So we called a meeting, they called a meeting to decide what we should do about camp meeting. Should we continue with camp meeting or should we not? So all the pastors and pastors' wives, people that were there, all that, they come into the cafeteria, and the president gets up front, here's the situation, the people, man, it's going to take this long to get stuff in, and what do we do? And they took a vote, and almost overwhelmingly, it was voted that we close camp meeting. No camp meeting. Tell them all to go home. Start making phone calls. Because there's no way for them to get into camp. Which makes logical sense when you think about it. And there was one lady, one brave lady, after the voting went down, stood up and said, just going to throw this out to you. We didn't pray.
Yeah.
Perhaps, and I'm just going to throw this out as an idea, we could pray about it. And everyone went, all the pastors went, what? What a fantastic idea! Absolutely stunning idea. We should think about that. And so then, as the church people do, the president then convened us once again, as we hadn't left yet, we hadn't been dismissed, to discuss how we should pray. And there were those who felt that we should probably pray as a group, perhaps have 2 or 3 or 4 pray, and then we could make it as a decision because we do need to get on with this. There were others who said, we need to go to our own prayer closets, back to our fully featured cabins, and pray there. And then there was others who thought, well, maybe we should get in groups of 3 or 4 and pray. And there was dissent in the land about how we should pray. And so, as good church people would do, we continued the meeting to discuss how we should pray. Now, I'm with a team of pretty much college students, or just they're out of college. College students tend to be people of action, little regard for bureaucracy and diplomacy. However, they were very polite. They just went at a certain point, this is stupid. And they went to the back of the auditorium, of the cafeteria, where they would not be a nuisance, in front of the fireplace where they conveniently put very old green furniture. And because summer camps pull things from the 70s often, or they've just been there since the 70s, we're not really sure. And commenced to sit down and to pray for those who were deciding how to pray.